I've been posting some videos where I asked a question, if you could change something about music streaming services, what would it be? Basically, that was the question, and I'm thinking about the responses that I got. So today I am talking about one that at first I was like, I don't know if that's a thing or a problem. And then the more I thought about it, I get where it's coming from. It actually kind of is. So let's get to the question itself right here on Mastodon. A person posted, I share a ton of music and I hate all the platforms that require a login to listen. And I was like, yeah, I get that. And truthfully, I was like, do they have you log in to listen? And then I realized it's like, oh, I created an account on most of them years ago, so I haven't thought about it. You know, you log in, you don't think twice about it. As I thought more about it, and I wrote down some notes, basically you click to hear a song, and the first thing you see is sign up or log in. Spotify has that. If I remember correctly, and it's because I created an account long ago, if you don't sign in, I think it only lets you listen for 30 seconds. And then if you do create an account, then you can listen to more. But I also want to say that it doesn't let you listen straight through. Like it shuffles the album or it shuffles the artist. It's one of those weird things, unless you pay for a subscription. So that's a different subject entirely. Getting off topic. So I guess I was thinking about just like, I'm a Pixel user. My phone is a Pixel phone. So it's got Android. If I see a link for Apple Music, I'm not going to click on that. I don't even know if they have a web interface for it. I assume that you have to log in to use it because everything's connected to an Apple ID. I mean, Apple across the board requires you to have a login to use anything that they have. So anyway, there you go. That's before I go any further on that, you get what I'm saying. What this person on Mastodon said is no login account needed is what they would want for a music streaming service. So that gets to the central problem that this person has brought up, that requiring user accounts creates a barrier between the artist and the listener. Because if they go there and it prompts them to sign in, or it goes, oh, you can't listen to this unless you have an account, they're going to go, oh, well, I'm not going to sign up to do that. So let's think about some of the supporting points for this idea for no login. So if we look at it from the artist perspective, the artists want their music, of course, to be heard by people. When they send somebody somewhere, they want them to go and listen to it. And of course, the point that this person made by posting this is that this will shrink the potential audience and make it harder to share with other people. So overall, allow musicians to promote their stuff and have it be accessible to everyone. And I agree with that. If you think about it from the listener perspective, which also benefits the artist, really, if they go there and they don't have to log in, they listen to the song, there's the potential to go, what else you got? And they can listen to more and check out the artist. And of course, the artist's information is there. They know how they got there in the first place. They can share it with other people. That's a benefit. But let's get right down to it, because the reason for a login is the data. So there's the data privacy angle that we want to try and avoid by not having to log in. I mean, not everyone wants their listening habits tracked, and that's what a login does, because it has personalized data just for what that person is doing on the platform, and then it follows what it does. And that's really what I want to know, is what would a platform need to still be personalized but not take data? By signing in, you get to do things like features that provide stuff like playlists you made or playlists you might be interested in, stuff like that. What if there is one where you can listen freely? You can use that app. When you use an app, it gets downloaded onto your phone, because that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of streaming apps and mostly mobile. And when you download that, what if you were able to then add the things you like locally, but it gets saved on your phone? Point one being, if I were to delete the app and then install it on another phone, it would be starting fresh. Now that's one way to do data freedom. It's local, but if you don't back it up, nothing you can do about it. But that is no login. Now here's Another point I want to make is that there is, in the same thing, in the same idea, the same concept, what if you had that locally, but what you can do is you can export it and save it either to a file on your phone or create a create a web page, much like what Last.fm used to do, where you can actually save your things on a website, on one that you host yourself. Let's say host yourself, just because we don't want to involve any other corporations. But host yourself and its playlists. You can share them with people. People can add them to the app. They just and what it is it displays as a list, but then you download that to your phone, and the phone app interprets it as the playlist and puts in the information. Not sharing anything, but you can show it off on a web page, something you can even put on your web page. And then, I'm literally thinking of this out loud right now, and then you share that back and forth. It's also a way to back up your stuff. If you do decide to add the app on different platforms, you can back it up the same way with the information you like. I like that. I like that idea. I'm sure there are flaws because I just thought of it, but that's a way to share the playlist, not log in. You can make them public if you want. You can just back them up to, like, say, your own drive or server. You don't have to share them with anybody, but that way you can keep the information you want on the app. That is an idea. I mean, it's a way to promote and support the platform by sharing that. I mean, I remember when Scrobbling, which is what Last.fm originally was, as it was called Audio Scrobbler, had the thing where you could put a widget on your site that showed now listening. You could put it in your chat menu or your chat window that would show now listening. And that was the whole thing, is it was showing what you were listening to. And that's what this would be, only you host it yourself. So in that sense, could there be a federated or decentralized model where the identity works across? I wrote that down trying to brainstorm it, and I think I just came up with the answer to that. So for that question, yes, make the app export the local information, and you can share that to a type of server. Ooh, I want to build that now. I want to build a site that backs that up and puts it out as stylized data. Okay, there we go. So what would you do? That's what I would do. I just thought of it. If you have ideas or things you would change about streaming, let me know. And I'm just talking about streaming right now. I'm not talking about the services like Bandcamp or SoundCloud or anything. I am trying to brainstorm music streaming. It's not going away. Everyone wants it to because of the way it is, but I'm like, well, let's just think about it. What would be better? What's a better way to stream? And that's what this is. So on top of that, if you're interested in this type of stuff, join my email list. I have a link to the email list, and you can sign up where I share these thoughts, questions. You can get more insight on this. I'm working on a way to possibly start building an app for these ideas. And if you want to be involved in that, sign up for my email list, and I'll let you know when I post more questions, or you can even contact me directly. So that's my thought on trying to rethink music streaming for today. I'll see you next time.